6th grade. Today we'll be working on lesson 35. We're going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. Lots of decimals. You guys should be getting good at these. Here we go. Let's say we have an addition problem. 3.6, 0.36, and 36. Which, in 36, means there really is a decimal point. We just haven't seen it yet. All right, what would be the best way to do this? Turns out the best way to do both addition and subtraction problems is to first write them up and down, lining up the decimals. See how my decimals here and there? Be careful with whole numbers. The decimal point is implied. It's after it. Sometimes I put it in to help me. Okay, so I've lined them up, 3.6, 0.36, and 36. I have these weird spaces now. Do you see that? If they don't bother you, you can just add and consider the spaces to be 0. If they do bother you, and you'd rather see the zeros, you could add zeros after a decimal point without changing the value. Now we add. 0 plus 6 plus 0 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. Bring down your decimal point. Put it in your answer. Don't forget that. That's important. 3 plus 6 is 9. And 3. There we go. Let's look over here. Let's say I have 5 wholes and I want to subtract a decimal of 4.32. We're going to do the same system. The decimal after the 5 is implied. It's right here. We just don't use it because there's nothing after it. Write your subtraction problem up and down and line up your decimals. 5 point nothing and 4.32. For this problem, I would definitely write in the zeros to help you subtract. Now let's see, if I have 0, I can't take away 2. Let's see if we can borrow. Now I can't borrow from a 0. See if we can borrow from 5. I can. Let's take 1 away from the 5 and rename it as 10 here. Let's take 1 away from that 10, make it 9, and rename it as 10 here. Now I can subtract. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 3 is 6. Bring down your decimal point. You don't want to lose it. 4 minus 4 is 0. 0.68. Let's see what this looks like with multiplication and division. For multiplication, I also like to write mine up and down with the decimal points lined up. You can do it without lining up the decimal points, but it makes it easier for me. I have 0.23 and 0.4. I'm going to write them up and down with my decimals in a line. And I'm missing a 0 here, so I'm going to put it in so they look nice. Here we go. Starting here, we're going to multiply by each digit times all of the top digits. 0 times 3 times 0 times everything is 0. Move to the next number. 4 times 3 is 12. All right, the 2 carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 4 times 0 is 0. Now, do not just bring down your decimal place. For multiplication problems, you need to count how many decimal places it's moved over and use that counting for your answer. Let's count. 1, 2. The decimal places moved over 2 places here. And then we have another decimal point, so we have to count it also. 3, 4. We need to count for our decimal place. So now when I go to put it in my answer, I start in the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. My final answer will be 0.092 or 0.0920. The counting is very important when you have a multiplication problem. Division. Now, we're not talking about division today when there's a decimal in the divisor, just when there's a decimal in the dividend. And, like all of the rest of our problems, the most important thing to start with is where do I put my decimal points? In addition and subtraction, we line them up and bring them down. In multiplication, we line them up and then we count. In division, we're going to move it up into the answer. Move it up before you even start. 1 divided by 5 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. subtract, and I would get 1. Bring down your 2. 12 divided by 5 is 2. Oops, I'm sorry. 2 times 5 is 10. I'm left with 2. Because I already have a decimal here, I don't want to have a remainder answer. I don't really want a fraction. I want to keep going with my decimal places. So let's add on a 0. Let's see if we can solve this problem. Now I have 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. And now I'm finished. My answer for this problem is 0.24.